I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Silly Jedi, silly Jedi.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hello, what have we here?
Hello there.
At last! Where have you been?
Nice of you guys to drop by.
Ah, good. New acquisitions.
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Star Wars Car Talk. Hope you're having a great day, however you're listening to us today. Whether you're in the car, like me, or if you're watching on YouTube, I thank you for tuning in this week. Yes, we are on YouTube, so if you're listening to us, these episodes go up as well on YouTube. So if you actually want to see me drive as I talk in the car about Star Wars, you can. And there's also other videos. So there's an entire playlist on the Jedi Toy Masters YouTube channel dedicated to Star Wars Car Talk. And then we also have an Instagram account for Star Wars Car Talk where all the episodes are on there as well. And you could also, of course, this is a podcast, so you can listen to it as a podcast. On iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, just search Star Wars Car Talk. Obviously, if you're listening to it, then you are already there. So just make sure you're subscribed so that you know when we release a video or audio episode every week. So, wow, what a difference a week makes. So last week, it was, it started off as an kind of uneventful week. I mean, we here in the Northeast, we got some snow and, we're all dealing with the cold and all that, and we still are. And there's another snowstorm on the way. And of course, if you're living in the middle of the country or down south, like my brother who's in Texas, and they're experiencing snow, maybe even for the first time down there. So it's kind of crazy. It's like Hoth weather all over the place. People are going to be riding around in their tong-tongs soon. And, I got, people everywhere in Texas are, trying to retrofit their cars for the snow. They're like, we're having trouble adapting them to the snow. And then, you got people on probably riding tauntauns and horses to get around because it's, it's crazy, But anyway, so there's that. There's the dealing with the weather. As far as Star Wars, though, earlier last week, there wasn't much going on. There was just the huge, excitement about everything coming up in the Star Wars world. There's photos that were not leaked. I mean, I guess you can say leaked, but there's a couple of websites that had photos of the sets that are being built for the Obi-Wan show. And that was kind of cool. You got to see, there's some aerial shots that are on the interwebs if you want to search of where they're filming. I believe they're filming in England or, in the UK somewhere. And there's all these outdoor, they basically built almost like a whole village. So you see like all the exterior sets of it. And obviously then they have all the interiors elsewhere. But it's pretty cool that we're going to get to see, like Mos Eisley and Mos Espa and, maybe some different locations on Tatooine. And who knows what's going to happen with the Obi-Wan series? I mean, is it only going to be one season? I mean, right now, I think the consensus is that it is going to be one season. I think it's just going to be like a one and done type of show where it's just going to be kind of like WandaVision. It's like a one long movie broken up into episodes, but it's just one contained story within that season. So I think that's going to be kind of cool to see that and to have it like that. I mean, obviously, you kind of wish we would get more. I mean, the idea of seeing Obi-Wan and going on an adventure with Obi-Wan again, and especially in this time period where it's in between the young Obi-Wan and Alec Guinness Obi-Wan. I mean, that's just so exciting to think about. But if it's one season, it's fine. We just enjoy it. And the great thing that Disney Plus is doing is that they're, with these shows, they are releasing them week to week. It's not like Netflix where the whole thing is released all at once, and you can sit and binge it, which is like, okay, it's, yes, deep down, everyone wants to do that. Everyone wants to just have it all and just binge it all in one sitting. But you know what? It's nice to take a break every once in a while. It's nice to take a break in between episodes and to be able to digest it and think about it and ponder it, and then come back the following week. It's that great feeling. Like, I remember in my youth, watching shows like Smallville, and just like that week to week anticipation of what's going to happen next, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, Obi-Wan, it's going to be interesting. We have the Andor show that is cranking up. It's in production, and unfortunately, there's been word that Alan Tudyk is not going to be K2SO in the first season, because I guess K2SO is not going to be in the first season. So, but which is kind of weird, because they, at the last Star Wars Celebration, he was there and he was doing interviews, and that's when they announced the Andor show and that there was going to be an Andor show, and he seemed like so excited that he was going to get to come back and return as that character, and then we find out that K2SO is not even going to be in the first season. But on the plus side, that means there's going to be more than one season of Andor, which is interesting, because now here's the thing. Andor takes place 5 years before the events of Rogue One. And obviously Rogue One is literally like a couple of days before A New Hope. So 5 years before Rogue One. Now, think about this. For those of us that, like myself, love Star Wars Rebels, the animated show. Star Wars Rebels, now, that kind of makes me think, okay, where is Star Wars Rebel on the timeline now? Because if I'm not mistaken, Star Wars Rebels takes place 5 years after Episode 3. So it's when the Empire is already kind of like established. So am I mistaken with that? Now I feel like was Star Wars Rebels taking place 5 years before A New Hope? Is it 5 years after Revenge of the Sith or 5 years before A New Hope? If it's 5 years, if it's in the same exact timeline as Andor, that's kind of exciting, because it means we might be able to get like a live action, like, Ghost Crew in this show. But then again, I don't know. Now, the actress that played Mon Mothma is coming back for this show to play Mon Mothma, obviously. So that means, and her character was in the latter seasons of Rebels. So there's a chance that these two shows kind of overlap. So this is kind of interesting, because it's like, the Star Wars timeline is now slowly becoming more and more complete. You have the prequels, you have Clone Wars, which fills in the gap between episode 2 and 3. You have, you have now like Star Wars Rebels, you have Solo, you have Andor, and you have like Rogue One, all filling in that gap between episode 3 and episode 4. Man, like and the Obi-Wan series, all that stuff is filling in the gap there. And then you have, we have the Mandalorian, and we have the Book of Boba Fett, and Republic Commandos, and whatever other show, Ahsoka. All these shows are basically filling in the gap between episodes 6 and 7. If that is, of course, if the episode 7 that we know of is still canon. Now, I know I say that, and it sounds crazy to think, but that's what the rumors are. And, a couple of episodes ago, that's what we talked about, that, there's all this rumor of there being a lot of discord at Lucasfilm, and a little mini civil war taking place between those that want to kind of rewrite history, rewrite the sequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, episode 7, 8, and 9. and then those that just want to make sure that everything leads up and lines up with episode 7, 8, and 9. So, with all that being said, speaking of discord and disunity amongst the fans and amongst those at Lucasfilm and Disney and all that, the end of last week kind of ended with a punch in the gut. And that punch in the gut was the news that the beloved character of Cara Dune quite possibly might not be anymore. And Gina Carano, who plays Cara Dune, apparently has been fired from Star Wars. She's fired from Lucasfilm and Disney, and no longer will she be playing Cara Dune. All these reports coming out, and of course, in this cancel culture that we live in, Gina Carano's canceled. And I know that there's going to be a lot of division in the sense of difference of opinion. I'm going to say with this. And I know where I kind of stand, but I'm when it comes to things like this, I see both sides. I understand that when you're someone that has a certain amount of influence and following, you got to be careful with what you say. You got to be careful with what you do, because more ears and more eyes are on you. And regardless of what your moral compass is and what your beliefs are, more so that means you have to be careful with what you say and how you say it. It doesn't mean that that's fair. It doesn't mean that that's right. It just means that that's the way it is. And both sides of the argument want there to be understanding and want the others and wants their own, feelings or stance validated. And I understand that. I get it. I also understand that that it can be a little bit very odd. I would say just odd and unnatural for people to just be silenced just because of their difference of opinion. And if there's something that we can all agree on, is that in Star Wars, the Star Wars is all about hope, and it's about unity and fighting the tyranny of oppression. And so, it's a weird situation to be in and to know of because, wow, this is the first actor, artist, character of the Star Wars franchise, Star Wars world that now this is happening to. And now I'm going to say this, it's a little controversial, I'm going to say it anyway, but Mark Hamill, we all love Mark Hamill. It's Luke Skywalker, and in both on screen and in real life, he looks and seems to be like a genuinely great, nice person. However, you look at Mark Hamill's Twitter feed, and he has said some, racy things and on his feed and has made certain comments about, people and political figures and all that stuff. And, and he's within his right to say all that, because we live in a free country. We don't live in an empire. We live in a society, as the Joker would say. I'm more curious what you guys think, because I know that this is something, at least I know on the Jedi Toy Masters Instagram, seeing the comments of the post in the days when this happened and the days after, obviously even amongst the fans, just on the toy collector and Star Wars toy lover community, the opinions are very very divided. You're either like pro Gina or anti Gina at this point. And I just, I just think that, no matter which side is right or which side is wrong, we as fans kind of lose, because this kind of, I think, takes the wind a little bit out of the sail of the fandom, of the love of Star Wars. I think, it's a little bit too much the ugly reality of the world we live in spilling into something that is, I don't want to say sacred, but it is something that we cherish, that's part of our childlike innocence in a way, because it's what we love. It's this story, and it's these stories and this fantasy world that we all love. And it's a little unfortunate. And there's always, like the Peter Parker saying, the Spider-Man saying, with great power comes great responsibility. So with this freedom that we have to say whatever we want, there's a responsibility that we have. So I guess that's the main point here. Say what you will about her, and at the end of the day, I'm just bummed out because I really like Cara Dune. I like that character. I really like how Gina Carano plays that character and how she embodied that character. And yeah, maybe she took it a little too far with her words. She didn't take, whatever. But at the end of the day, as a fan, talking just as a fan, I'm kind of bummed out about it. It's kind of, it sucks. It sucks. It just does. I really was, looking forward to seeing what would happen with her character moving forward. And I was, really kind of excited to think of the possibility that this New Republic Commandos or whatever that show is, that she'll be a part of it, because she's kind of like a New Republic commando. So anyway, that's just a little, like I said, it takes the wind. It takes the wind out of the sail of Star Wars, of fandom a little bit. It shows a little bit of the ugliness, the ugly side of Hollywood and all this stuff that's going on, this political world atmosphere that we all are a part of. I just want to focus on just the exciting stuff. My son keeps asking me, let's change the subject here. My son keeps asking me, when is the Bad Batch coming out? And I'm like, I don't know. So I think Bad Batch, my guess, like I've been saying, is going to be probably something like in the spring. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we get like a nice little spring. Maybe the summer, maybe it'll be like a summer thing, but the reality is also it could end up being like in the fall. It could be like a September, October type of thing. I don't know. I hope not, because the more I think about it, it has to be the spring. It has to be. It has to be like a spring thing, because you figure you're going to get Mandalorian season 3 either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, right? This year or next year. And then you have Book of Boba Fett. So look at that. It got dark. This is what happens when I record in the afternoon instead of the morning. Guys, I've been rambling for too long. Thanks for listening. Let me know what your opinion is. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what you think over at Jedi Toy Masters. Hope we can catch you guys over there. Check out some other videos, some of our other videos here on YouTube. And regardless of what's going on in this crazy world we live in, remember,
the Force will be with you, always.